Okay, Dad's already ready up there, and now it's my turn. Hello, adventurers, and welcome back to my channel. I just finished up taking a shower, and it's pretty gloomy and overcast today, so we have got some plans, and I'm gonna share just a day in the life with you guys again. I've enjoyed sharing what my dad and I get into, but if anything comes up and it ends up being a full video, you'll know that it's just after this one. However, today I got some things to do. Yesterday I solved some problems for my van while I was shopping with my dad, and we kind of discussed some of the things that he has going on in his van. But today is going to be mostly about just keeping us entertained. Maybe. We'll see. Currently, my van looks like this, and you can see it is raining. I've got a lot of stuff to do. I need to fill up water. I need to throw some things away. This is all stuff that needs to find a home in my van because I picked it up yesterday. I have some Mountain House boxes that my dad brought me. So everything is just kind of all over the place. And I am just going to add to this by putting my towel in here so it can dry somehow. Maybe. This is usually a two-hand job. It's not raining super heavy right now, but it is definitely spitting. You know, a lot of people constantly are saying, well, on bad weather days, I just sit in my van. And I do that sometimes, and I enjoy that. However, there's a lot of things that you can do whenever it's a rainy day. So I thought today we could do some of those things. And you don't necessarily have to do all these things, but some of these in your area might be kind of cool. So I thought today we'll just show you what we're going to get into. And well, first I got to change. Since I haven't been driving around the past couple days, bringing this over to Dad's van so I can charge it while we're driving today. This thing should charge up pretty quickly. It usually doesn't take it a super long time. So I've got it pushed in, and then I'm just gonna set it kind of over here between the two seats so it can charge. As you can imagine, the sun is gonna be non-existent today, so I'm probably not gonna be getting too much solar. So I thought that was a good way to start the day. My bigger power station is down to like 49% or something. So at some point I'm gonna have to get some sun because it's just been not super sunny. And because of that, it's kind of wearing on me just a little bit. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just get this little one topped off. And then tomorrow we will figure out the rest of this. I have a backup big power station just in case that can run my fridge. And this is why I carry lots of power. Because if you are in weather like this, some days it just doesn't work out. Okay, ready to go. I'm just gonna go with my hair wet because it's raining anyway, it doesn't really matter. And we're gonna ride in Dad's van today. A wet day indeed, but an adventure is to be had as we are going to Titanic. Okay guys, on this one I've never been, and there's a few reasons I've never been. For one, I've always wanted to come with someone else because this is one of those kinds of things. For another, I've never been able to share a video with you guys of this because I can't film in here. If I can take photos, I'll share a few of those so you can see kind of what's inside. But today I'm going to go visit Titanic, which is one of the most interesting stories I've ever heard about. And this is supposed to be an experience like no other that you can go into and learn a little bit more about the history of the Titanic and the people who were here. So without further ado, I'll be right back. Okay, we just finished up. Dad is doing his penny press. This is his collectible that he does. I have a patch inside this little bag right here because that's what I do. And this was incredible. I definitely recommend. Now, they don't let you video whenever you're inside, so you can't go in there and just do a whole video. I've tried for you guys, but you do have to come out and actually see it for yourself. It's incredible to see what they have, and they've done a variety of different kinds of displays in the Titanic throughout the years. They've highlighted the dogs of the Titanic. They've highlighted different groups of people, including those who were in the Jewish community who were on the Titanic. And this year they're highlighting the children. There were 135 children on board the Titanic. And so the way that it kind of works, I'll just kind of walk you through it really quickly on the parts that I could take photos of, and this will just serve as kind of a, this is what happens. So you walk in and you pay for your ticket, and then they give you a boarding pass of an individual who was on the Titanic. And this one was mine, as you can see. It tells you a little bit about them. And you go through the entirety of the display, and then at the very end, you find out what happened to your passenger. Now, in this particular instance, my passenger did not survive. However, Dad's did. Both of us were third class, and a lot of the third class people did not make it out. In fact, only about 6% of the third class passengers actually made it off of the Titanic. But as you're going through these different displays, on the second floor you can take photos, and that's what all of these photos that I'm sharing with you right now are. You can see various points of interest. There's an entire room dedicated to the musicians who were said to have played until the bitter end, and it's fascinating to see many of these artifacts which were either recovered or brought up. And the person who is responsible for the Titanic museums has actually been to the Titanic wreckage. There's even a small display inside for the more recent Ocean Gate experience which happened. And I think that it's just very telling that people are going out to seek out information and knowledge to kind of put together the pieces as to what exactly happened and what happens after the fact. So this was a very cool experience. Definitely recommend. I hope these photos are helpful. But now, Dad and I are off. Dad got his penny? You see it? Woo! So yeah, it's a rainy day though. Let's get on to something else. So on the back, it has Titanic, and then on the front, it is the Grand Staircase. Pretty cool. Pretty cool indeed. And they actually have a grand staircase here at the museum that you can go and learn a little bit more about. For example, did you guys know that state of the art at that time was linoleum? And so in the grand staircase area, in this opulent room where they had all of these amazing things, one might think that, oh, they're gonna have marble or something like that. Nope, they had linoleum, because at the time it was more expensive than even marble. And it was something that would have been a status symbol to have at that time. Now that we're back out to the van, it occurred to me, if you do come here, bring a jacket. There is one room, specifically the room where you find out that the iceberg is dead ahead, and it is cold in there. It is super, super cold in there. There's also one instance where you can put your hand in the water that is as cold as it was on the night of the Titanic, and I did this, and I've done this before where you put your whole hand in, but here it says just put your finger in. Now when I did my whole hand at 25 seconds, my hand became uncomfortably cold to the point of aching, but I made it all the way to 3 minutes just dipping a finger in. But let me tell you, we've been away from that water now for a bit, and my finger is still a little numb. So there's that. But it's definitely something that is enlightening as to what the conditions were, and it kind of puts things into perspective a little bit better. Anyway, with that said, now we can go. Okay, we made it to our next place. Dad's locking up the van, and then we're gonna do another rainy day activity. What is that rainy day activity? Something else Dad and I like to do. We're very competitive. So mini golf, bowling, those kinds of things. So today we got some brain wrinkles already, and now we're gonna go have a little bit of fun. And it's not raining right now, so we're hoping that it will continue to not be rainy. But just in case, we wanted to have a nice indoor activity. And so now it's time for us to go have a little bit of fun. We are at a place that I have not visited here in the Branson area. We are at, I think this is called Table Rock Lanes, and it's gonna be kind of cool. Now, who is going to win? Are you team me or are you team Dad? Leave in the comments below and we'll see who wins. In the meantime, Dad is all finished locking up and coming around, it looks like. So it's time for us to go inside. Like I said before, guys, just because it rains doesn't mean you have to stay inside all day in your van and just sit. There are lots of interesting activities and places that you can go to. You can go to museums, you can go to libraries, you can go to a Starbucks and work, you can go to a bowling alley. There's so many fun things out there. Don't limit yourself. You got this. Okay, so we bowled 2 rounds, and on the first one, Dad just outright beat me. On the second one, I was leading him all the way into the 10th frame, and I had the ball come off of my finger weird, and I knew instantly it was just a goner. So I even cleaned up most of it afterwards, but it was not enough. Dad threw a strike. Neither one of us have bowled in a while, and we did not do great. But at the same time, it was super, super fun, and definitely a place I will come back to. We'll probably bring my mom back here because she likes to bowl. So let's look around some of the arcade real quick. They have some games. They have some interesting things. Like this. They have air hockey and old school skee ball machines. This is one of my favorite things. I used to love to go to Chuck E. Cheese whenever I was a kid and play with these because this was the same style that they had back then. We made it back out to the van. Okay, what I lacked in bowling, I beat Dad on one game. So even though he is still winning because he also beat me on skee ball, we won't talk about that. It was really fun. It was super, super fun. And I'm just kind of used to us going back and forth like this. So our competitive nature is that we just enjoy getting out and doing stuff. And so yay. It is still kind of rainy though. So I don't know what we're gonna do next, but we're off to our next activity. So we decided to drive across town back to Branson Landing. It is definitely rainy now. So we're gonna go back to Branson Landing because there is a restaurant here that I have not tried that looked really good. Dad mentioned that he saw something online the other day and that it looked tasty. So we were trying to figure out where exactly this was. And I think it is this place. We'll see though, we'll find out really quickly. I think it's the Magnolia Bistro. I think that's what it's called. So we're gonna try it out, and the rain is starting to come down a bit more now. It's starting to get to that point where you can like physically see it. The drops are getting bigger. In we go to Branson Landing. We're gonna split these up, try both of them. I'm super excited. Oh, I'm tired now. That was good. That was delightful. That was something different. You know, again, you don't have to just sit in your van on a wet day. We're just out and about, just exploring the area that we're in and finding interesting things. The hot dogs, very different, very good. The first one that we had was the pizza one, and then the other one was the beer cheese. Had beer cheese and sauteed onions. So good. And we split it in half so we could each have half of it. And I think Dad and I both decided that we liked both of them because they were both Nathan's hot dogs, but we kind of leaned more toward the one with the beer cheese. It was a little softer on the bread and the flavors really went well together. And while we were there, we played games. It was super fun, but it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon now. It is definitely still rainy. So what else are we gonna get into? Okay, we're going to go over there in about 40 minutes because we're gonna go to the movies. But for now, we're gonna start off over here at a flea market. Again, the main thing is to get out and move, not to be stuck, because if you're in a small space, you're gonna get really sore and tired if you just sit still. So this is great. Okay, next rainy day activity. Dad's locking up the van and we are going to the movies. We also at the thrift store picked up a game that we can play, which is something else you can do in your van when you're with somebody. So you don't have to be by yourself and just be bored. There's cool stuff everywhere. For now though, getting poured on. Hello.
until they face the protector of the people.
We just finished up our movie. It was so good. We watched Ghostbusters and it's still raining outside. It's like 6 o'clock now and it's gonna be a little chilly. Oh, rain and cold. We can do this, we can do this. Oh, one last stop. We're looking for my mom a new hiking stick. Oh, so this is one more stop. Okay, totally was not my goal of coming shopping. We were looking for my mom something, but I found these hiking socks. These are wool socks for super inexpensive. They were in an army supply area. And so normally for a pair of good hiking socks, you pay a pretty penny for them. Like, wool socks are the best, and especially a cushioned hiking wool sock that is designed like this is pretty expensive usually. However, for both sets of these, I think you can see $4.95 for each set. That's a steal. And we also found the thing for my mom, so that's great. So I'm really happy. So I'm gonna get these. Dad's getting the thing for mom, and we're almost finished. I'm gonna go catch up with Dad, and then we're gonna make our way to the front.